Okay, so we are going to do the last part of the priority list lesson, which is what? The wrap up, right? The wrap up. So let's turn to, it's page 50 in your resource manual, and we're going to do this individually. The wrap up it's again one of the shortest parts of the lesson, even though it's important still because it's the last thing they're going to walk out of there remembering, okay? So we want to end with a bang, but a quick bang, all right? So what I want you to do is come up with 1 or 2 questions first. You see question 1, question 2, that could wrap up this lesson. We've been doing it all day long pretty much. So how could we really wrap this question up? Then think of remember how yesterday I said an assignment, a challenge for them to utilize this in their lives, okay? So something that they could do like that. Or, you know, something else. If you can't think of an assignment, think of something creative, maybe a story, a quote that you see on here, okay? So come up with 3 different ways like we did for the introduction, okay, of wrapping up this lesson. Remember, this is just a conclusion, so these questions have to be wrap-up questions. It's different than a discussion question, okay?
So we actually would be using either 1, 2, or the assignment. Or can
right.
use a combination.
You could use a combination in like when you're doing your groups, you could ask a question quickly so everybody has a chance to have a final input, and then say, and as a challenge, guys, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, okay? Okay, guys, so let's see what you guys came up with. What are some conclusions that, that you guys did for this lesson? We've been talking about it all day. How can we bring closure to the group? Sheena.
Well, I was thinking about a challenge, something that I could, you know, send them home with. So I wrote down as a challenge for them, tonight as you're getting ready to go to sleep and you're having, you know, you're in your quiet time, go ahead and think about the priorities that we've talked about today and things that you set out for yourself and how that might change as you grow older, how they might shift and change, and that's okay that they do that.
Okay, great. And then you would touch base on, you know, the next time that you would come to group. Okay, excellent, excellent. Just something easy that they can take away and start thinking about it, and then you would check in with them again. I like that. Thank you, Sheena. Maida.
For me, remember how I used the scale before for the introduction? I want to kind of use this again. So I said, using the same scale that I gave you before, tell me how much the achieved helped you to feel confident about knowing how to prioritize.
Excellent.
And then I would have a follow-up thing assignment. Now that you learn about that, I want you to actually train on that a little bit. So I want you to go home and get 1 day of this week and just do a priority list. And then in the end of the day, I want you to sit down and think about this day and think how was different or not from others day that you didn't do that.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. I'll take Lisa and then Hannah.
I would ask them, after we finished our activity, I would ask them, how many hours are in a week? And we would figure out the math on the board. If they didn't, you know, have 168, just pop it. And, you know, they're 24 hours in a day times 7, you know. And then I would ask them, does anyone else on this planet have any more time or any less time than you do? Of course, the answer is no. We all have the same amount of time. So it's not the amount of time that we have, but it's how we use our time. And then I would go back to that concept of no one ever said when they were little that they wanted to grow up and be under the bridge. And I would tell them that the difference between Donald Trump and the person that lives under the bridge is how they spend their time. And I would go back to that, and it's because no one plans to fail, but they
failed to plan. That's right. Okay, excellent. I like that. And again, I like the way that you guys are thinking about the introductions and how it would tie into also your conclusion. Okay? Did you want to add your assignment? I know, because you shared it with me, so I wanted you to share it with the rest of the group.
They were to ask 3 people that they admire how they keep themselves organized and how they prioritize. Do they use a calendar? Do they use the sticky notes? Do they have some sort of a daily aid? Or do they, you know, talk into their cell phone and take you know, their to-do list or whatever it was? But they were to come back with those 3 people's answers.
Okay, excellent. Again, guys, utilizing the life skills so that they can go out and share this and talk about it with someone else so that they can start implementing this stuff in their lives. That's what we want. That's the goal. Okay, Hannah?
I have a quote
that
I saw in the book. It's, if you do not think about your future, you cannot have one. And then I would then ask them, for an assignment, how will the priority list that you've made help you in 5 years?
Okay, excellent. Very good. For them to start thinking about these things, really, how does it materialize in our lives? Okay, and that's something that you always want to keep at the foremost of your mind when you're doing these life skills. Maida?
Just a comment on Lisa's plan. I think that was very interesting because like they are gonna actually have to interact with people that they admire, and I think that's one more step towards like social skills and being able to actually relate to people.
You're absolutely
so
right.
2 thumbs up. I love your idea.
Yes, yes, that's actually a very good point, okay? We want to get them to get help, you know, from other people that are around them. And in some of, you know, the ones that, the discussion questions that you asked, there was one that said, who can help you reach, okay, these priorities, these goals? Again, getting them to think about it in their lives, that they can do it. It's just they have to find the resources, right? Okay, guys, so that's the conclusion of the priority list. So we've done introduction, discussion, activity, and the wrap-up. How do we feel now about this formula? You're feeling more comfortable? You're feeling like, you know, I know yesterday it was, you know, we just kind of like got our feet wet. Today we really jumped in it, okay? So are there any questions about any part of the formula up to now?